Hello and good day, everyone. I'm Yasmin Pascual Dormido. Now that Christine Abrigo has already laid down the foundations of corporate social responsibility, communication, and the theoretical grounding, I shall continue the discussion on CSR communication theories and models. My topic is legitimacy and institutional perspectives in CSR communication. So this presentation examines how corporations communicate their social responsibility through two important theoretical lenses: legitimacy theory and institutional theory. These frameworks explain why organizations disclose CSR activities and why CSR communication has become increasingly standardized worldwide. I will also briefly discuss a critical insight: the risk that CSR communication becomes compliance driven rather than value driven. So let's start off with the question why CSR communication matters. CSR communication refers to how companies disclose their environmental, social, and ethical responsibilities to stakeholders. These communications appear in sustainability reports, corporate websites, integrated reports, and public disclosures. According to Crane, Matten, and Spence 2019, CSR communication helps organizations demonstrate accountability and transparency while shaping how stakeholders perceive corporate responsibility. Legitimacy theory argues that organizations survive only if their activities are perceived as legitimate within society. This legitimacy is based on what we call a social contract, meaning society allows corporations to operate in exchange for responsible behavior. Zahorska et al. 2022 explained that organizations use CSR or communication to demonstrate that they align with societal values, norms, and expectations. So, how organizations maintain legitimacy? CSR and sustainability reports so that they can communicate corporate responsibility. These are also used to reassure stakeholders about ethical conduct, demonstrate alignment, of course, with societal expectations, and strengthen organizational trust. Legitimacy strategies may be symbolic or substantive. Symbolic communication focuses on maintaining an image of responsibility without necessarily changing organizational practices. Substantive communication, on the other hand, reflects real operational challenges. Scholars note that stakeholders increasingly scrutinize CSR disclosures to determine whether they represent genuine commitment or merely symbolic messaging. Institutional theory focuses on how organizations respond to pressures within their institutional environment. DiMaggio and Powell 1983 identified three types of pressures: regulatory, normative, and mimetic. These pressures encourage organizations to adopt similar structures and practices and reporting standards, including CSR communication practices. Institutional pressures strongly influence how corporations communicate CSR. Regulatory requirements such as environmental reporting laws encourage transparency. Normative pressures arise from professional bodies, industry associations, and global sustainability initiatives. Mimetic pressures occur when companies adopt CSR reporting practices used by successful organizations in their industry. Over time, CSR reporting has become increasingly standardized. Global frameworks such as the Global Reporting Initiative encourage companies to report environmental, social, and governance performance using common indicators. So this standardization allows stakeholders to compare CSR performance across organizations and industries. CSR communication is influenced by both global and local factors. Multinational corporations often follow global reporting frameworks, but they must also adapt their CSR strategies to local cultural expectations, regulatory environments, and community needs. Matten and Moon 2008 described this dynamic as the interaction between explicit and implicit CSR practices. A key criticism of CSR communication is that it can become compliance driven rather than value driven. When organizations focus primarily on meeting reporting requirements, CSR risks becoming a bureaucratic exercise rather than a genuine commitment to social responsibility. Authentic CSR requires embedding ethical values and sustainability principles into corporate decision making. In summary, legitimacy theory and institutional theory offer valuable insights into why organizations communicate corporate social responsibility. While legitimacy emphasizes societal approval, institutional theory highlights external pressures shaping organizational behavior. Together, they explain the rapid growth and standardization of CSR worldwide. Before we conclude, I would like to invite everyone to reflect on how organizations communicate their corporate social responsibility initiatives within broader social and institutional contexts. As we have discussed, CSR communication is not just about sharing positive initiatives, but also about maintaining legitimacy and responding to institutional pressures such as regulatory expectations, professional norms, and industry practices. So, with this in mind, I would like to leave you with two questions for reflection and discussion. These are my references. Thank you for watching this lecture. Have a good day.